Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jenny from Polly's Paper Studio, and today I have a super sweet small mini album flip book created with the Christmas in the Village collection from BoBunny and trims from Really Reasonable Ribbon. There are also flowers here from Little Birdie Crafts, and let's open this up and check out the inside. So this is obviously got a sweet vintage Victorian feel to it, but the colors are more modern and updated, and I think it's super sweet. So I've got lots of pages with tip-ins, and then I keep folding it, and there are more pages. These have pockets as well, and more pockets. It just keeps going. So there is plenty of room inside for pictures and journaling, and it is actually very easy to make. So let's do that together. So the great thing about this base is that all the pages are the same size, and that makes it easy. The only change you need to make is in the centers, and that will be because you need to remember to add some dimension to the book every layer you make, because you need to accommodate the bulk of the layers that you're going to put inside. So I have one piece that is going to be the outside. It is 10 by 4.5, and the center is 1 inch, and each of the pages is 4.5. The second piece I have is a 9 3/4 by 4.5. The center is 3/4. Each of the pages is 4.5, and the last piece 9.5 by 4.5. Each of the pages is 4.5, and the center is 1/2 inch. So what you want to do is work from the outside in, and I've got some double-sided tape put on the left-hand side of my pages, and I'm going to adhere the 3/4 inch spine to the 1 inch spine, overlapping the whole bottom page that I've put down. You see? So now I've got this, and there's enough room here and enough room here. The next page going in is going to be the 1/2 inch spine, same as before. I'm putting that down right up to that score line, and that is going to fold in and then fold in. You see, now we have built in enough room to add the layers inside. This is 110-pound cardstock, and I have used double-sided adhesive tape to adhere all of those layers. So this becomes your base, and now that all of your pages are going to be 4.5 by 4.5, that makes it easy again. I've started this one previously, and I covered the spine with a little bit of the pattern paper I'm using, and the back as well. So I'm just going to begin on the inside. That makes sense to me because that way I'm not working around the bulk of the cover while I'm putting on my layers. So the first 2 pages that will show at the same time is the first flip open of the cover. So these 2 pages should coordinate, and I have my paper here cut. I'm leaving a 1/4 or an 1/8 of an inch border, as I always do, and this paper is from BoBunny. This is Christmas in the Village. What a sweet collection of little Victorian houses. So I picked the pink to go with that paper pattern, and then I'm going to utilize the border strip page. I've cut that into sections that will be layered as borders on these pages. So one has that stamp image. This one has a Merry and Bright with some very sweet little hanging bulbs. These are the old-fashioned kind, and I think they are very charming and festive. One last layer for this page is the portion that I cut off of here. So it was quite wide to begin with, and I'm just going to use it in 2 sections and cover that center section of the stamp. So now I'm getting a very layered effect and utilizing that whole border strip. What I want to do now is add a tip in, and I have finished the inside with a second piece of white cardstock. That way I'm leaving enough room to add some journaling on the inside. And so this will become my tip-in flap. And what I want to do is add this here just by lining it up and securing it on the back. And now this can be added as a unit to the cover. Okay, so you're basically sandwiching in the mechanism that holds that tip-in on to the page, and just center that and add it right to the middle. While you're working on this page, you want to add the journal card, and this is just one of the cut aparts. This is a great place either for a picture or for more journaling, and I've popped that up with foam so that I can get that nice dimension that will support the book when it's closed, because you want it to have a nice shape. So I'm just going to add that here, and when you open the cover, you'll get a tip-in already to add your pictures and journaling. So it makes sense to me that these two pages will match. So what I've got is a mirror of that same printed paper, same border strips, same tip-in. This time I'm going pink, and then I did add a little star here that's just die cut from glitter paper, and that would be a nice way to add detail to that card without adding extra bulk. So for the purpose of getting this book done quickly on video, I did prepare this page, and so I'm just adding it here, and now you see the first two pages go together, and this is the first flip. Okay, let's move on to the next flip. I have two pages here that will go together, but really it's three. So let's work on this center portion. Since the measurements for all the pages are the same, it's super easy to work along. And so I've got my tip-in prepared. Here is the back lined with an additional piece of cardstock for writing. I've got my pink cardstock border, and that is just going in the center of that tip-in, and then I'm going to add the beautiful journal card from that collection, and this is going to go right in the middle again. Then I'm adding this as a unit to my cardstock, same as on the first page. It's just going to go over and use the back to sandwich in that mechanism. Okay, that is on ready to add to the book, and I'm adding that right in the center just like on the first page, and I'm gonna move that tip-in temporarily so we can finish the inside of the page. I have the companion paper cut because I had to make one piece stretch for the whole book. I did have to clip off a little bit to have enough sheets, but it will be covered with the pocket that I'm putting on. So I'm adding that right to the top, and that's going to have the same border as I always do. Here is the pocket, and because I want to be able to add things to it, I have only added the adhesive to the bottom and the side, and I'm going to secure that, and that will cover that short edge, and it will look like there's a whole sheet of pattern paper underneath. Here is just another layer. This kind of neutralizes that stripe because it did get a little bit busy there, but this is got a very not contrasting tone. It looks like a little bit like snow. So now I have what I'm calling a pocket page here, because you can add things in that with a tip-in. So I have 3 more pages prepared just that same way, and I'm going to add them. It makes sense to me that when the book is open, the pages that can be seen together should coordinate. They don't have to be exactly the same, but they should read together nicely. So all of these inside pages, I have the very same layout and the same papers. The journal cards are different, but they're similar and they all look nice together. So here is one more for the end, that last piece. So there seems like there's a lot of pages, but once you start folding them up, you see how they work together. Okay, last one is going here because you see these together, so they should match. And I'm just going to add that. Is the last inside page. I did skip ahead a little because you didn't need to see me gluing this on upside down, but I fixed it, so we're all good again. Now before I close this up fully, look how cute it is if I embellish this page with this sweet little bird. This is from the Noteworthy ephemera pack that goes with the Christmas in the Village collection, and now I think that is super sweet. And then one last inside detail that I can add is a star because I like my pages to match. So here is one for this side as well. And that, like I said, is going to add a nice detail without adding bulk. Now you can see how we added enough room for all those paper layers. So what I want to do right now is bring in the ribbon that I want to use to tie this book up and keep it secure. You have to add it between the paper layers, and because this is a flip book, you really only should attach it on the front. So here I'm just kind of eyeballing the center, and I want to use just a bit of hot glue to tack that into place, and then it will be mostly secured by adding the front cover. So now I'm gonna work on that. Let's just set this aside. So same layering process as in the previous ones. Now I've got that pink cardstock and this gorgeous holly and berry pattern right on top. I'm going to add a die cut doily to break up those busy patterns and top it with part of that border strip. This is going to go right along the bottom, and it does cover the bottom of that doily, but I think that worked out pretty well because it still shows all those sweet little hanging ornaments. Okay, the focal point of this is the sweet little Victorian houses, and I have 3. The first one I'm just adding with double-sided adhesive on the bottom, and then I put foam on the top so I can pop up that dimension. This one is mostly flat though, and I want to make sure that I don't hang that part of the roof off of the top. So I think this is very festive with all its Christmas lights on. The second house to go is a little bit shorter and a little bit wider, and that kind of helps to create the arrangement. It is fully on foam spacers, so that is going to be the next layer, and it goes just about right there. And then the final house is the sweet little pink one. That's going to be the focus one, and I do have foam on one side and then a double layer on the other because I want the part that hangs off of this house to be supported so that it will lay flat. And that is just going right there. How sweet is that? I just want to go where this is and spend Christmas with all these sweet vintagey details. Okay, here's a sentiment that came from that journal or the border strip, and that had quite a few sentiments on it, but I like the pink, and that matched once again. Tape on one side, foam on the other, and that will keep everything lined up perfectly. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I don't hang over that edge any, because it will not be supportive if it's just hanging off the side. Okay, couple last details is flowers, of course. Picked pink because it goes with the book, and then I've added a couple more of those little glitter stars and some twine, but let's put this cover on first. I'm going to be aware of what side of the book is up this time and not glue my page on upside down. So here goes the cover, and then the flowers will go next. I pre-arrange these like I always do because I want to make sure that I do not conceal too much of that sentiment strip, and I don't want to hang over the side too much either, so I worked on that ahead, and now I can add it as one full unit, and that will complete the cover. And last but not least, I have prepared a bow of that sweet checked ribbon. That's pink plaid from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I will leave links in the description for this and the twine. That both comes from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and the paper, like I said, is from BoBunny, and that is Christmas in the Village. So I'm just going to add this to the spine, and then our cover will be all finished. This bow is topped with more of that pink twine, just a small loopy bow on the top, and then I've added a vintage button also, and a couple of cute little charms there, a skate and a tiny deer, so that will look nice as an embellishment for the spine. And the last thing to do is to tie this up, and we will be all set. And that is all for our Noel vintage Christmas mini album. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and leave me a comment. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!